Swindens at the Goldsmith Centre.
So this is a stake. So we put this in the vise, and then it gives us something like a blacksmith would use an anvil. It gives us something that we can hammer our metal around and change the form of the sheets. So as you can see over the back there's so many different shapes and sizes of them. What's really nice about the Swinden ones is one, they've got a curved jaw inside, so they take round objects really nicely. But this is the best bit for us, is if we undo that, then we can change the angle of it, tighten it up, and that gives us another way that we can hit things with the metal. With the standard vise, you haven't got that option. So you have to alter your angle of your body, you have to angle your how you're working really. But the vise gives us so much more opportunities. And then if I turn it all the way around, and then we've got the straight jaws on that side, which allows us to hold different shapes. Like I say, as you can see, there's so many different shapes and sizes.
David?
So that's why they're so useful for us. This one hasn't got the swivel base, whereas the one there has. So we're fixed in that position, but the other one you can swivel it. So we've got 360 degrees that we can move the stake rather than us have to move. And they're so robust. A silversmith is like I don't know, you can think of it as a blacksmith, but using just precious metals instead. Yeah. So we're quite brutal with the hammers at times. we smash the hell out of things. And these have stood the test of time. These ones, once you start tightening them up over and over, if you put something like this stake is not quite in line, it stretches the thread and they don't quite grab as well as they used to.
So I mean that vice there, which is something else, that doesn't do the same?
No, it'll grip it in just one plane, but you haven't got any of that twisting, that movement, that sort of versatility that you've got with one of these.
And it's the only one that does that, is it?
The one behind you there is the same. That's just a slightly smaller.
Yeah, but it's the only brand that does it. It's only Swindens
as far
that do
as
it.
I know. Yeah, you get ones with different swivel bases, but it's the robustness of these. We've had them, I guess, about eight years now since we started, and I've never had to change anything. You have to tighten up the jaws a little bit every now and then, but you get that with all vices. But these have taken an absolute pounding, and they're still as sort of they're still doing the job that they did. Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing. We deal with students, not refined craftsmen that have been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
They've never used vices before, and so they tend to abuse any tool that they get hold of until they learn how to use them properly. And these, again, they're student proof, so that sort of tells you something about them. We're really impressed by them. They're really good. If we could have all of them, that'd be fine.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I don't know why is that so special?
It's really strong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's
so
amazing.
so varying ones along there. That one at the end is okay, but the other two here, they're not brilliant.
They're losing.
So do the students prefer to work on that one? Do they?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, I'm not going to say much about any brands, but Record used to be the vice brand. Everybody used to be best. We've got a couple of old records that are probably 20, 30 years old, absolutely perfect. The modern ones aren't nearly as good. I don't know if they've changed the manufacturing, but they're nowhere near what they used to be.
They closed the English factory before they saw the quality of what they bought from them.
Right.
And they went under, and somebody else has bought them.
Yeah, but you can tell it's amazing. They look the same. You wouldn't tell. Maybe if you really inspected one side by side, but as soon as you start using them, you can tell they're so much different. But again, we don't have that problem. We haven't had that problem with these. So most impressed.
Swindens, revolutionary work holding.